I let my sister live in my house for free, on the condition she paid the bills. She didn't, destroyed my credit, and then cut me off. So, I timed at 34F. I'm a single mom of 4 kids. In 2020, I bought my first house and soon after my sister, Rachel 27F, her boyfriend, Jake 28M and son Izzy 1M moved into a room I had. I ended up having to move my 2 sons into the same bedroom, even though there was a room for each kiddo, but they were in a hard spot and needed a place to stay. In 2021, I got a job promotion in a city, 2 hours away, and with encouragement from my sister and kid's father I took the job. Thankfully my old boss let me stay in his home, rent-free, which allowed me to continue to pay my mortgage on my new home. The home needed a lot of repairs, as it had been vacant for some time, so that's why he didn't charge me. My sister offered to care for my 4 kids until the end of school. Since I got the promotion 2 months before school ended, I told her the agreement would be I would continue to provide for them and the kids by paying all the bills and providing food. I would visit every weekend to spend time with them. Soon summer started and my kids went with their dad, and so I told my sister I would continue to pay the mortgage, but she would have to pay the bills. I told her she would have to get them in her name, and she argued she didn't have the means because she owed companies and it would cost too much to open new account. Red flag number 1. I hesitantly agreed, as she was the only one working while she was pregnant and her boyfriend was in school. To get licensed, I would still visit on occasion to go visit friends, check out the house and spend time with her. On my weekends I would stay with my kids in my house, and soon she started complaining we were running up the bills, eating all her food and leaving a mess. So we shortly stopped visiting as I didn't want to cause more tension. Soon I started struggling with back to school, trying to repair the home I was living in to get it ready for the kids to live with me, and supporting 2 households was getting very difficult. I had a conversation with my sister and Jake, and said that they would have to start paying me $500 a month at the start of the new year, which would make 1 year of her living there, to help me cover the cost of the mortgage, which was $1,300. I told her the house was just to help her get her life together, so they could save up to get their own place. They argued they wanted to stay and help pay the mortgage, but I told them that wasn't the plan. Red flag number 2. Soon after that conversation, Jake got arrested and I allowed her to pawn some Christmas gifts I had for my kids to help get Jake out of jail. She then proceeded to say she wasn't going to pay the pawn, and it wasn't of importance, and I told her she promised and it was gifts I worked hard for to give my kids. I ended up working out a deal and made her pay at least one gift out, as it was an expensive console. She hesitantly agreed and got upset. I forced her to buy something she couldn't afford. She said that I did not care about her struggles, and our visits added more burden on her. Mind you, we visited maybe once a month because she would complain, and I told her I couldn't help her anymore other than paying the mortgage for a roof over her head. In January, Rachel ended up paying the $500 for that month and told me they were moving income tax. Shortly after her move, I received 3 utility bills totaling over $600 in my name. I was furious. I worked extremely hard to get my credit together, and I definitely couldn't afford these unseen bills, and she said she wasn't going to pay them because she had her family to worry about. What about my family? What about my kids? I tried my best to work out something, saying even if she paid just $5 to $10 a week to just show me she was willing to make an effort. She said she wasn't paying jack shit, and it was my problem cause the bills were still being used after she moved out. I used some electricity and water to clean the house and get it rent ready after they left. I told her that I supported her for a whole year and the least she could do was pay the past due bills. I told her that I felt betrayed and hurt, and we had never fought before, so I didn't understand what else to do. In my anger, I told her I would take her to court. Jake took the phone from her and said that I was no longer family and no longer allowed to be around them or my niece and nephew. I told them that this was the second time I have supported and taken care of them, and I was tired of being taken advantage of. Rachel and I had never fought before. I left our home as a teen cause it was a very toxic household. I just couldn't understand how our first fight, she wanted to disown me, but Jake, who constantly cheated on her, always found a place in her life. She stated I did her wrong and didn't care about her, and that money was all that was important to me. Fast forward 3 years later, and she has found God and told me she was sorry that we both did wrong things and that she wanted to rekindle our relationship. I truly don't feel she has any remorse for what happened and is still blaming me for her struggles. I wanted a relationship again, but I Just feel so betrayed and can't fathom trusting her again. Ada for wanting to keep no contact with my sister after this one huge fight.